God, you are back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. I say comedian every fucking episode, but to let you in on a little bit of a secret, I haven't thought of comedy since the fucking lockdown started. Stand-up comedy, that is. It really has not even entered my mind at all. I did that live streaming show in front of the screens. That was a nightmare. That was the last time I performed comedy. And I haven't missed it one little bit. Like, I'm definitely going back to it. In 2022, when this all blows over, I'll go back to it. But at the moment, I am fucking not missing it. I spoke to a comedian friend who was doing gigs in that little period in between restrictions being lifted and lockdown, that like 1.5 week period. He started doing gigs and he said it was just a fucking nightmare. He said there was like 40 comedians turning up. I don't know who these 40 comedians are. You're only allowed 6 in the building at once because there's 4 crowd. 4 socially distanced crowd and 40 desperate comedians. So he said 40 comedians would turn up, 6 allowed in the building, 4 people in the crowd, socially distanced. He said the first 7 comedians come on and do coronavirus stuff because that's what the crowd wants as well. They want to hear a little bit about the coronavirus. But by the 8th comedian, they're like, all right, enough with the coronavirus shit. And he said people would go to their old material because none of their coronavirus shit was working. And then the old material isn't working because the fucking world's not the same place anymore. Your quirky little jokes about buying ham haven't exactly got the crowd curled over in laughter now that the crowd have actual problems to contend with. It's actually been good to have a break from fucking stand-up because it really does consume your life. When you're doing it, that's all you fucking think about. New jokes, your old bits. You fucking hate your old bits. You need new jokes. You got to get to a gig. You got to hustle new gigs. Hang out for a little bit. Hang out with people you don't like. Speak to people you don't like. Perform to people you don't like. Bomb. Eat shit. Humiliate yourself. That's every single night. That's every single night for almost 10 years. So now that there's no gigs on at all, it's fucking nice to have that space in your head. I'm definitely going back to stand-up, but I'm not doing it the same way as I did it before. The way I did it before is unsustainable now. I've seen the light. I'll put on shows now, and if people come, they come. If they don't, they don't. I'll go do the shittier gigs to try out and develop new material, but I'm not wasting all that fucking time anymore. The only time I've really thought about stand-up was there was a couple of weeks there where it did start back up again under the restriction rules, and comics started going out gigging again, and I felt the pressure. The anxiety came back. Fuck, now I have to go out there and start gigging again. I've been doing lots of writing, all sorts of writing. I think temperamentally I might be a writer. I like sitting there in a quiet room by myself, no one there to annoy me, and just writing shit on the paper. I've been speaking to a lot of comics and there's quite a few of them that just aren't going to come back now. They're like, nah, my life's way better without comedy. I'm not coming back. And they're the ones that should come back. They're the real funny ones. The ones with the unshakable determination to make it in stand-up comedy, they're the unfunny ones. 4 comedian friends of mine who are some of like the funniest people in Melbourne, they're pretty much on the brink of quitting. Like, they probably should be famous. They're that good at comedy, but no one gives a fuck here. Steve Hughes. Steve Hughes got fucking chased out of town here. He was basically staying on someone's couch, not getting any gigs. Had to go back to England, where they appreciate him. Here, they like tepid, soulless fucking robots. You never see the real good comedy coming out of Australia. You see someone who's going to make your grandma fucking giggle. Even Jim Jeffries had to go to the UK. You know when Jim Jeffries went to the UK and became a fucking sensation, then went to America and took over America, became one of the top 3 selling comedians in the fucking world. When he got kicked out of the country, do you know who we got? We got fucking Rove. We got Rove McManus and fucking Peter Helya. And I've done gigs with Pete Helya, nice guy, but fuck me, it seems like the only person that can make anything on Australian TV is fucking Peter Helya. Australian TV is as good as fucking dead. I was thinking about why the TV has never fucking changed and why the advertisers stick around. It's because they're all old cunts. The advertisers have never adapted. They still plow ahead on TV even though no one fucking watches it. Everyone ignores it, except dead people. The advertisers are using a dying medium to advertise to a dying people. Because that's what you are if you're watching TV at this point. It just went from MasterChef to Big Brother to Bachelor in Paradise to Australian Idol to The Masked Singer. It's like fucking kill yourself. Where is anyone with any fucking imagination? It's fucking embarrassing. Indians come over here. Indians come over here and watch our TV and say it's fucking horse shit. Indians. They have a 15 fucking minute dance piece in the middle of every fucking movie. And they're saying it's unwatchable. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of fucking great comedians out there that you'll never know about because they're all going to quit after COVID. I thought it was going to burn off all the dead wood, but it seems like the dead wood was just used as fuel to take down the fucking living trees. My point was, what was my point? My point was, I've got a bunch of old stand-up comedy fucking filmings in dodgy places in front of dodgy crowds that I might start dribbling out because I don't think I'm going to use that material anymore. I think I'm going to start afresh, anew. Anyway, that got a little out of my hands. If you're enjoying the podcast, subscribe to it, tell your friends about it, share it around. If you've been listening for a while, send us in a Fucked Up Friday story. Get some pen to paper, get the Fucked Up Friday story to me, send it in to my social media. I'm Boyle Comedy on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. See you the fuck later.